York's classic rock, Q1043.
Billy Gibbons is with us this morning here at Q1043. Welcome, sir.
Yes.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
My goodness, such a sharp-dressed man so early in the morning. I wish I would have known. I mean, I would have worn a nice suit for you. I mean, you look fantastic.
Well,
In a suit.
We knew we were coming to Style Central, so we put on the dog with you today.
Well, really, what a sharp-dressed man. Come
Billy
on.
is always well-dressed. He was well-dressed the last time you came up. I just kept staring at what you were wearing.
But that is a sharp suit, sir.
It is.
Is that a bespoke suit?
Well, thanks to our costumer, who we have been going to visit for, as long as ZZ Top's celebrating now 4+ decades.
Mm-hmm.
We've been hanging out with this guy, Jaime Castaneda, out in North Hollywood. And he's got us memorized. So
you have your name inside that jacket, don't you?
Oh, so it was custom made.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it has a vintage look.
The only thing missing, perhaps, would be the rhinestones and the embroidered roses, and
No. You.
That's an awesome-looking suit.
That is really, really very nice. Looks I have a suit. I have a custom-made suit, and I would have worn it so that we could take photos together, and it would just be a cool thing.
And your blue shoes, which you never wear.
My blue suede shoes, yes.
Because
we play tonight at Jones Beach, and I think we've got time to swing by. We could let you hop out, and I'll hang out until.
Well, this is a very special morning for me because, it's a record that I doubt if it will ever be surpassed, and you don't even know that you have this record, but you do. Even though there's a little technicality because you came up here to Q1043 when I was on vacation and Mark Coppola was filling in for me. But you are now the person who has the longest span between an appearance on my morning radio show in New York City. 41 years.
Hey, now.
You appeared on my morning show in 1975.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's 2016. And that's the longest gap between appearances of anybody
Wow.
ever. As a matter of fact, there's a photo. I've been looking for it. I found it online before, but you know how hard it is to find old photos. There's a photo of the two of us together in the studio in 1975 that was published in a defunct magazine that was called Rock Magazine.
Okay, I'm with you. As the old saying,
we got to find it.
Oh, I know.
as the old saying goes, good to be seen.
But 41 years, you were a gigantic rock star then. It's 41 years later, you're a gigantic rock star now. You and your band have sustained one of the most successful careers in history.
Oh, we speak of it often. And in fact, we're quizzed on that very topic from time to time. And it comes back to the same answer is we still dig it. We still enjoy getting to do what we get to do.
Well, you know, when you came into our Q1043 little complex here, before we walked into the studio, I noticed you looking at the photos of Jimi Hendrix that we have here on the wall, and you opened for Hendrix.
Oh, definitely. Who could forget at the turn of, it was...
you were just a young kid. I mean, you have
You
to
were
let
17, were you?
have
I'm
to-
17.
17.
You have to let us know what that was like.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy's on, for the listeners, but Jimi Hendrix is pictured on the wall behind us, and then in front of us, I see a similar era album cover featuring the image of Jeff Beck. Mm-hmm. Now, the combination of those two might not immediately resonate, but one of the first things I remember checking into a hotel room, they put me in a room directly across the hall from where Jimmy was staying, and I heard some loud noises coming out of the room. They had brought in a stereo for Jimmy to play vinyl records on. And he came to the door and he saw me kind of patting around. He gave me a motion to come in and he said, how do you think they do this? Well, he was listening to Jeff Beck off the Jeff Beck group album. I said, well, Jimmy, Jeff Beck is probably wondering how you do a few of those things as well.
Well, Billy, little Stephen Van Zandt was here last week, and he knows a thing or two about playing the guitar. And he told us that he was on stage playing guitar with Jeff Beck and that he was watching what Jeff Beck was doing with his hands. And even though he could see with his eyes what Jeff Beck was doing, he still couldn't understand it.
It doesn't make sense. I had the interesting invitation to accept appearing with Jeff Beck just last week. He made an appearance celebrating 50 years in the business, and it was at the Hollywood Bowl. And as many times as we've made an appearance with Jeff Beck, in fact, today it marks the release of ZZ Top's, it's called
Greatest Hits Live, and,
yes.
and there are 2 tracks that feature Jeff Beck.
Oh, yeah. And I can join in that mysterious gaze of watching Jeff Beck do what he does, hearing Jeff Beck do what he does, but still not being able to put 2 and 2 together. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so it's true of all distinguished guitarists. When you watch Jeff Beck's hands and listen to Jeff Beck's sound, it just doesn't make any natural sense.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, you're often or always on the list of the greatest guitarists. So who's on your list besides Jeff Beck?
Well, we've mentioned Jimi Hendrix. We've mentioned Jeff Beck. And a name that is now starting to appear on a lot of other guitar players' favorites is Prince, who for the longest time enjoyed a celebrity status as more of an entertainer, certainly more so than being known as a great guitarist until recently. And I had the pleasure of sitting here in Manhattan one evening. It was after a show late at night, and I wound up heading down to Gansevoort. I was going to try and make way to the little all-night joint. They were closed for construction, so I tiptoed across the street. There was a Brazilian bar, and no sooner had I walked through the door, a rather large gent tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Somebody want to speak to you." And I was escorted to a table, and there by himself sat Prince, and there were Brazilian dancers on the bar and all kinds of commotion. But he just wanted to talk guitar. He wanted to talk tone, technique. It was a real robust exchange, and it set me right in line with a guy that I now could add to the great entertainer that he was. He's now the great guitar player and will always remain so.
Billy Gibbons.
I asked him, I pointed out the rather ridiculously cool intro to When Doves Cry. Mm-hmm. And he smiled. He says, "Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that one out, too."
Today is the release date for ZZ Top's Greatest Hits Live. It's an unusual recording in that the different individual tracks were recorded at different shows around the world. And as New Yorkers, we take great pride in the fact that track number 1, Got Me Under Pressure, was recorded right here in our town.
It sure was, yeah. The famous Beacon Theater, which has outlasted most other venues by decades. And it comes up quite frequently amongst musicians that play at the Beacon Theater. They smile when you even bring it up. But we think that building has had so much vibration. Every single timber, every rafter, every speck of sawdust has finally settled into place. It resonates as a giant speaker box. It's just great.
And it's truly an international album with performances in Paris, London, Vancouver, Rome. The tracks from London featured Jeff Beck, including the final track on the album, which is 16 Tons. Now, that was a huge hit by Tennessee Ernie Ford when you were just a little kid. Did you like the song then?
Well, it was a hands-down hit. It was an all-time favorite to this day. Speaking of accepting invitations from Jeff Beck, there was a great gathering to celebrate the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 25th anniversary a few years back. And it was a 2-night stand, a Friday and a Saturday at Madison Square Garden, which later was released on DVD. And about 6 months after that performance, I flew in from London to take the deck with Jeff Beck. And a buddy of mine said, gee, I wished you'd have let it be known you were going to perform 2 nights with Jeff Beck. I said, no, it was just the Friday night. He said, well, you must have appeared again. I was there on the Friday, but I now see on YouTube you guys playing 16 Tons, the old Tennessee Ernie track. I said, no, we did not. Some guy with so much time on his hands had taken the DVD from the 2 appearances, cut it up into little pieces, put it together, re-recorded 16 Tons, and I actually had the opportunity to play it for Jeff. And I couldn't bust it, nor could he. And he said, bloody hell, it's pretty good. Let's learn it.
Well,
so we did.
Well, you have such an extensive catalog, so many popular songs, to choose 15 to feature on your live album must have been a difficult process.
What made it easy was discovering the stacks of archival recordings that did go around the world. I think traditionally when you see a live record, it might be a presentation of one single night, no more than 2, but this was things that had found its way to the archival vault over the last couple of tours. And we were able to kind of hand-pick some favorites. And the collection is really, it's nice. It holds water from top to bottom. I'm digging it.
It's a greatest hits album of live performances from all over the world.
Nice.
And have you even kept track of how many ZZ Top albums there have been since 1971? I mean,
Well, we're approaching, we're halfway there. The band is spanning plus 4 decades. Mm-hmm. We've got half of that in record form. I think there's about 20 LPs.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a really prolific recording career and performing career. I mean, you must just look in the mirror some mornings and say, I can't believe it. I was a kid. I was in this band. I was 17 years old. I opened for Hendrix. It's like half a century later, and people still want to buy tickets and come see our show and listen to our albums. I mean, that is just an amazing testament to your talent and your bandmates and what you've been able to accomplish over all these many decades.
It's just a handful. It's just a handful of people can say that.
45 years since the first ZZ Top album.
Yeah, that's well, we have to pinch ourselves every once in a while. As we mentioned, getting to do what we get to do is still number. What would we be doing if not this is the question.
Well, you'd be on TV still.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Right? You have the second career.
Yeah, we passed yesterday. We were had the day to call our own in the city, and we passed by. We were over in Williamsburg actually, and passed by South
Williamsburg. Where did you feel at home with all the beards there?
Oh, definitely. It was hipster central, and we stumbled into main drag music and Southside music, and we still get excited. You see that fine guitar. You may already have one, but it's that next one's too many and 100 ain't enough.
Yeah, well, Rick Nielsen. Okay, he has pretty much a warehouse of guitars, you know, and speaking of beards, okay, was it just publicity, or did Gillette really offer you $1 million to shave?
I think that they had it planned, knowing that we would probably refuse, but it certainly made they were off the hook for a bunch of dough.
Yeah, and they got $1 million worth of free publicity.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We came out okay. We didn't have to go. We don't even know what's underneath all of this chin whiskers these days. So.
But it's true. You go to Williamsburg now, and it's a lot of 22-year-old guys
imitators
walking around looking like the Smith Brothers or Rutherford B. Hayes.
Yeah,
That's the current look. You see, you kept it going long enough. Now it's cool again.
well, Frank Beard, our fearless drummer, the man with no beard, by the way. I think he coined it aptly quite some time back. ZZ Top is immune to fashion. But it's changing.
Oh, no, you are fashion.
It's changing.
You are fashion.
You are
A well-dressed
one
man.
fashionable guy. Take a look at the pocket.
I noticed, yeah.
And we'll have a video up at q1043.com, so you'll be able to see just
The whole look.
Yeah. They're not turning
It's a
you.
look.
They're not turning you away at the door of any restaurant you want to go into with a nice suit like that.
You know, we were just overseas. We had a nice run doing the summer festival dates, including a show in Ireland. And I found an absence of the pocket squares, so I was out for an Irish linen. You can't find them in Ireland. You have to go back.
Were you in Dublin?
Yes.
Okay. Go to Brown Thomas on Grafton Street.
Okay.
Okay. They've got fine selection of ties, pocket squares, everything you need.
Brown Thomas.
Brown Thomas. Next time you're in Dublin.
Done.
Billy Gibbons with us. Jones Beach tonight with Government Mule, and pick up ZZ Top's brand new album, Greatest Hits Live, recorded all over the world, including right here in New York City. And it's our pleasure to welcome you to Q1043 anytime you're in town, sir.
Hold on.
Well, let's not make it 41 more years.
Wait a minute.
Well, we can.
Jim didn't ask the very question he asks on the air every time we play a twofer.
Oh.
By ZZ Top.
Okay,
I can't believe you did. You had Billy in the
all right,
studio.
okay. Why didn't?
And I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to.
Okay,
you know,
okay.
here you go.
Just very quickly, why didn't you finish the trilogy?
There is that remains a distinct possibility.
Okay, well, so we have
so
something
it's an
to
open-ended
look forward
question.
to.
In the history of ZZ Top, there is a song that we attempted to compose when we first coalesced as a band. I think the first week. We're still trying to complete it.
Okay, thank you so much, Billy Gibbons. Have a great stay here in New York City and a great time at Jones Beach on Long Island tonight.
Senor.
Thank you.